Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. It is the 21st day of April, the year 2022, and this is recorded. It's recorded live. It'll be played at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. or 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, Marjorie Taylor Greene is scheduled to appear in a hearing on whether she will be allowed to run for office again after taking part in an insurrection. I may have that live. I may not. I will be monitoring it and will probably be doing reports if I don't have it live. So let's get to what's going on right now. Again, thank you all for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, hit the bell so you'll know when we are on. And we begin with a story. I don't know where it's at. I haven't had a chance to look at mainstream media to even know what's going on, what they're showing, because there's so much happening in so many different places, and we're trying to connect the dots. This happened. Mike Tyson, former world heavyweight boxing champion, baddest man on the planet. If you are hearing reports, if you have heard reports, the reports are probably Mike Tyson. Some guy tried to get Mike Tyson to sign an autograph. This is how I found out about it. Somebody contacted me and said some guy tried to get Mike Tyson to sign an autograph, and Tyson went off on him and beat the crap out of the guy. So that's why I'm saying maybe those are reports you're hearing. This is what actually happened. Create a problem, blame somebody else, claim you're the victim. Now, I'm not saying go around punching everybody in the face. I am saying if you're stupid enough to get in Mike Tyson's face, and if you are not intelligent enough to back off before he starts pummeling you, you might be a doofus. I'm just going to leave it at that, because it kind of leads into the next story. A few nights ago, I dissected in whole we completely went through a QAnon video. That one happened to be artificial intelligence, or as one of the viewers wrote, that's artificial stupidity instead of intelligence. This one we have tonight. We're not going to dissect the whole thing. We're just going to start here at the beginning and just a couple of minutes in.
Yesterday, the president gave, it was almost like kind of like this impromptu.
If you watched the program before, you've seen the QAnon videos before. It's always like this. There's a voice in the background that has been recorded somewhere, and it's been the voice track is not anywhere close to the video track, and this person over here is a distraction that is not in no way involved, other than they're on there and their mouth is moving.
For North Carolina, they weren't really promoting it. It just popped up in my email, and of course I watched, and he really is ramping up his language. Of course, he's telling us still things we already know.
When they say president, they mean the ex-president.
He's pointing out all the corruption. He's pointing out Hunter and Joe and all the ridiculousness. He's talking about China, which we heard during the, we heard all about all of this stuff. Over the past 6 years,
6 years. These people have been fed this stuff for 6 years. And This premiered 42 minutes ago, as you can see right down here, and 3,661 views already in 42 minutes. So after 6 years, there are still people buying into this. And listen to the vitriol, listen to the amount of anger, angst, hate that begins to be projected from this woman's voice.
Learned a lot more. And it's like we're living on two different timelines, because these people watch fake news and it's not going to be real to them until it's on fake news. And again, I have some more intel which talks about this. And I will be sharing that after I talk about this, because something's about to happen. Something has.
Okay, we're going to have an ad come up here. There we go.
We're not going to be able to change their minds. And I think it had to be proven to us that something more has to happen to get.
Okay. They're not going to be able to change our minds. They're not going to be able to convince us of these big lies. Big lies specifically. The reason I'm showing this is because it says emergency broadcast system has been activated. It hasn't. The lies just continue. And we've talked about it on numerous episodes. The 10 commandments of what to do when you're in war, and the four rules of propaganda from that it's obvious is being followed by not only Putin in Russia, but also here in the United States.
To wake these people up. We can't do anything. Everything's stuck. You know what I mean? While these people are watching these fake news people. And I have some.
They're talking about all the fake news people, and the next stories are going to play into this.
A little bit of it up as to why we had to suffer through these fake news traitors, these scumbags,
They're talking about somebody on Fox.
Pathetic worms, these single-celled amoebas, these awful, awful creatures. And we had to put up with them for so long because all these people, bad, that's all they'll listen to. It's the most frustrating thing. You just want to punch them in the face. I mean, really, sometimes it is necessary to me. You see that all the time in a movie.
Okay. They're starting to advocate violence. All right. Trump's speech in North Carolina, you could tell, she says, you could tell that he wanted to tell us, but he couldn't. And everything's just stuck. And it's, they're fanning the flames with this stuff, and too many people are watching it. And we need to be aware of it. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but
they punch somebody in the face. So I'm taking them to heart now with their movies and shit. I think it's about time we started punching people. Anyway, I don't think it would work either. These people need to be scared for their lives, and I think that's what's going to happen. So I wanted to bring up some things. By the way, I would have it, okay? However, I do believe that the white.
Okay. So that's enough of that. If you want to see the whole thing, you can go to emergency broadcast system has been activated. It should be up for probably 24 hours until, they realize, well, there was no emergency broadcast activation. But the Fox News host, Tucker Carlson, I heard in 2016 rumors about him, and I haven't said anything. I haven't talked a lot about, I've talked about Tucker Carlson and what a dirtbag I think he is, but what they're talking about is what Tucker Carlson himself is doing. This is an article from Vanity Fair. It says, you may be a man, but are you a real man? the kind of guy that wrestles with jacked friends and throws giant tires, the sort of guy who milks cows and chugs glasses of raw eggs just because. No? Well, do you want to be? Because if so, famously rugged tough guy Tucker Carlson has the solution for you: testicle tanning. I've waited 3 days to do this article. I kind of showed pictures because I didn't really do it deep like I'm going to get into it a little bit more here. Not for long for those of you that hate Tucker Carlson, but we got to talk about this for a second because we're connecting the dots. Testicle tanning. Okay, let's go on. Testicle tanning, you might ask. Surely you don't mean to say becoming a macho man like Fox News Carlson will require me to stand nude on a rock, subjecting my genitals to some sort of mysterious red light machine. You bet your nuts it does. Carlson has recently begun promoting a new documentary episode. And this is why I waited 3 days, because I thought there's no way this is real, because his base is going to go off on him. And I just showed you that his base is going to go off on him. You're not going to, Fox isn't going to tell you this is happening. I doubt very seriously the other mainstream media is going to tell you all of this is happening. You got to connect the dots. A promo for the special shows a bunch of shirtless men. We'll show the promo here in just a minute. But the idea is men who are tough, men who are resourceful, men who are strong enough to survive, who could reestablish order. It's men loving men is what he's promoting, and people are reading into it. Okay. I'm just giving you the information. So he has this Andrew McGovern on, and he says it's not crazy to seek solutions. McGovern responds. He says that Carlson had already recently been exposed to the term bromotherapy. Okay. First it was sticking fluorescent light up your ass, and now it's tanning your testicles. And this might even be too much for some. Is it crazy? Of course. Something even Kid Rock, of all people, appears to recognize. Appearing on Carlson's program later that episode, the Donald Trump loving Rock spoke for Americans of all political stripes when he told Fox News host, "Dude, stop. Testicle tanning? Come on. I haven't heard anything like that in a long time." "Open up your mind, Bobby," Carlson replies. "Don't you think at this point, when so many of the therapies, the paths we told to take, have turned out to be dead ends that really hurt people, why wouldn't open-minded people seek new solutions?" with a question mark. Kid Rock says, "I don't know what the hell is going on in this world. I'm not even sure if I understood that question. But some days you just want to stop this planet and let me off." The insinuation in all of this is Tucker is gay. All right. I'm not making any judgments on him being gay or not, in the closet, out of the closet. I'm telling you what the buzz is. The buzz is that Tucker's gay, has been gay. I heard it in 2016 at the National Convention in Philadelphia. It was one of those things, okay, so he's gay. This was before all the Fox became the Fox became the Fox. And the word is they've been putting up with it, okay, because they've been using him. And he's getting to the point where he's not going to be useful anymore. And that's why this this douchey guy, that's why they're trying to make this the guy with Jen, you know who I'm talking about, the guy on Fox that goes at it with the press secretary, douchey, I think's his name. They're trying to get him elevated in acceptance to their base because of things like this. And just to show you the putting your junk in the toaster is what he's promoting.
Once a society collapses, then you're in hard times. Well, hard iron sharpens iron, as they say, and those hard times inevitably produce men who are tough, men who are resourceful, men who are strong enough to survive. And then they go on to re-establish order, and so the cycle begins again.
Tucker's trying to be, Tucker has trying, this is what's been insinuated, okay? Tucker has been trying to find a cure. And he says that pretty much in the article. You know, we've tried all these things and they haven't worked. Shouldn't we keep trying to find solutions? He's trying to find a cure for himself. And the world just keeps getting crazier. Kid Rock and I, we might agree on more than we would know if we sat down and just, rapped with each other. He would find out I'm not a Trump fan. Maybe by the end of it, he wouldn't be either if I talked enough truth to him. But we both agree on this. The world's getting crazy. And I really can't believe, I can't believe some of the stuff that that is out there. And we haven't even started on the news yet. Those of you that are watching, just join us. Thank you for watching. Actually, I'm not live, so you probably watched from the start. I hope you have. I hope you're still with me. We're going to the news now. A Proud Boy from Florida used his personal cell phone to leave menacing messages to the FBI. He was arrested after they traced the calls. I've got a couple of pictures. I think we showed these. This picture, I believe both pictures are the same person. And it's just my gut feeling. I just got this gut feeling that this person is not going to be doing good. And I think it's the same. I think this is the same person. Leave this up here for just a second in case somebody's watching that does facial recognition. And that one. And we'll go back to this one and we'll point out Trump, consigliere. Of course, these are Proud Boy. That's Proud Boy. That is Ku Klux Klan, white supremacy. So when you see those signs flashed in segments of the Republican Party, that's who they are. Again, I'm incredibly hopeful the entire Republican Party is not like that. And at the moment, I'm going to believe they're not. But a significant number are and have been since all of this started. I lost a lot of friends over trying to warn people of the groups that were supporting Trump and Pence at the time. But you know, you gotta speak the truth. Or at least I do. So this guy's a wannabe, flashing the Proud Boy signs. He's a consigliere of something. I guess the Trump motorcycle gang, maybe. And so leave this up here again, just in case somebody's watching that that does either open source intelligence, facial recognition, or happens to work for an agency that does. Pop this up so we make sure we don't get interrupted in this video. We covered so much stuff during the George Floyd time 2 years ago. And there are things that, you know, you cover so much, there are little details that you might forget or overlook, but there are some things that stand out. The story of the black mom that had her daughter and her nieces there, and they were teenagers, and the cops mistook the van for being a stolen motorcycle, supposedly, and had the kids laying on the pavement with their hands behind their back and guns to their heads and stuff. And this story also was one of those kind of stories that stuck out.
I'll never forget what those officers did to us that night.
It was October 27th, 2020. Wow. In this cell phone video, you see Philadelphia police officers smash the windows of Rakia Young's car.
The officers then violently yanked Ms. Young and her nephew from the vehicle and physically beat her and him in the street, causing significant injuries. Ms. Young's son was also pulled from the vehicle by the Philadelphia police officers and taken away from his mother.
What happened to her was unconscionable and should never happen to any citizen in the city. And officers involved were being disciplined, and we had to pay up for what it is that happened to her.
The city will pay $2 million to settle any claims. Philadelphia police tell us 2 officers were fired. 14 others are now awaiting disciplinary hearings.
However, this is not in the story.
Oh my gosh.
It continues with a lawsuit filed by Rakia Young and her attorneys against the National Fraternal Order of Police. The NFOP posted this picture to social media of Rakia Young's son in the arms of an officer that night, with a caption that reads in part, "This child was lost during the violent riots in Philadelphia, wandering around barefoot."
They grabbed the kid out of the car. Just to be clear.
We are the only thing standing between order and anarchy.
What kind of charges do you want the district attorney to file against these officers?
Aggravated assault, recklessly endangering another person, simple assault. This was nothing more than an attack that would be perpetrated by any random street dog.
I reached out to the district attorney's office. They say they can't comment and they cannot confirm any kind of criminal investigation, but that they do take their obligation to pursue and investigate official misconduct seriously.
I'll never forget.
There is there's another lawsuit going on, as you heard, against the Fraternal Order of Police for using her child in a false manner. By the way, they weren't even part of a protest. They were just on their way home. The protest was happening down the block, and the police obviously dramatically overreacted. As you can see, they were just driving. And that's why we've done this show for as long as we have, as many forms as it's taken on, because it's all about just exposing injustice and letting you decide for yourself. Disney's special district pays for its own services. So removing this status means Florida residents will see a higher tax bill. District also has over $1 billion in debt, which the state would be on the hook for. For those that don't know, it passed both houses of Florida's state legislature. They're going to strip Disney of its special tax privileges. Those special tax privileges are that Disney maintains the Disney property. Disney is responsible for all the roads and the roads leading to Disney, all the police, the fire department, the sanitation, all of that Disney pays for. Disney's also $1 billion in debt on that property. What the governor of Florida will do when he signs this bill is basically put Orlando residents on the hook for a portion of the bill and the services. Okay, because Disney's just going to pay their regular corporate taxes. They're not going to take care of any of the other things that they have been taking care of that lead up to Disney. Not only what's going on in Disney, but up to it as well. Just something to think about. Something else to think about. DeSantis won by 3,200 votes or 32,000 votes last time. 77,000 Disney employees. Not to mention all the other theme parks in the area who are now going, well, wait a minute. If they're going to do this to them, you know, what's going to stop them from doing it to us? And things could get ugly. Things could get ugly in Florida. Things will get ugly in the world. They're already ugly. We just got more things to talk about. Iran threatens to attack all of Israel's nuclear weapons storage sites if war erupts. That's according to N12 News. And they are citing Arab sources. Iranians claim they have photos of all of Israel's nuclear locations. The United States Embassy in Israel issues a security alert for Americans. They warn that the security environment can change quickly. U.S. government employees and family members have been banned from entering Old Jerusalem at night. And the threat of rocket and mortar attacks have been highlighted as the reason to stay away from the old city. Rocket and mortar attacks on the old city, that doesn't happen. That is incredibly dangerous territory. 2 Russian oligarchs were found dead today, as if they had been killed first and then their families killed later. About 24 hours between the 2 incidents. These were both outside of Russia, presumably Russian agents. One of them was found hung, and his daughter and his wife were stabbed to death. The other's family was stabbed. All 3 of them were stabbed. Russian troops celebrated Hitler's birthday yesterday. Russian soldiers celebrated the birthday of comrade and friend Hitler. Russian soldiers have wished Hitler a happy birthday and described him as a comrade and a friend. So yes, 420 in the rock and roll world. 420 used to be a day for acknowledging the use of marijuana. It's also Hitler's birthday. So, you know, it's just weird, Black legislators in Florida are staging a sit-in disrupting Republican efforts to erase Black congressional districts. This is something called gerrymandering, where the party in charge decides where the votes come from to determine who goes to Congress, and thus constantly rigging one party's domination over everyone in the state. They are chanting, "This is good trouble. This is necessary trouble." That, of course, from former Congressman John Lewis. According to the CDC, the H5N1 bird flu continues to be detected in wild birds and in poultry in the United States. CDC is working with local, state, and federal partners to monitor people with exposures to infected birds and is prepared to respond if these viruses spread to people. If you're a person and you get bird flu, it's the absolute worst. It's like the absolute worst COVID. That's your best bird flu. Okay. There is, I'm told, there is a vaccination, a human vaccination for bird flu. It is not in mass production in any way, shape, or form. Because bird flu's been around for a while. We went through a bird flu thing 15, 20 years ago. And at that time, they worked on and developed a vaccine for people. They did not develop a vaccine for birds and animals. Now, this is a twofold story. This, as we've said, in the coming weeks, we're going to start seeing, we've got about a 3-month supply buildup of food. All right. And it's starting to, we're going to start seeing more and more, not fully stocked shelves, but not empty shelves yet. And eventually we'll start seeing some products aren't available and won't be. And then pretty soon we're going to start seeing, this, and I talk about this a lot on here, so don't change the channel. I'm just going to be a second. All right. The idea that we love to pull up and get our hamburger when we want it. Okay. The things I'm telling you, it's not like fast food. It's not like dry food. The things I'm telling you are going to be happening over the course of the next few weeks, over the course of the next couple of months. Unless something incredibly unforeseen happens, which in this world is very likely, and I'm not the only one saying this. If you look at government websites, almost, I'm going to guess 80% of government websites at some place on them have, here's what to do in case of an emergency. That the government is telling us through their websites, prepare yourself just in case something happens. All right. This was March 3rd, and this is once again Madison Cawthorn. If he didn't keep doing this stuff, people would eventually not talk about him. But every time he does something like this, it brings up everything else he's ever done. And I'm going to play sometime here soon, Trevor Noah, who does the Daily Show. I'm going to play his take. He did a deep dive on who this guy really is, and we'll play that. But this is him. This is him getting stopped again. The cops even showed his license plate, the make of the truck. There's a little doubt. His wheelchair's back here. You can hear his voice. Some young girl gets out and ends up. She has to get in and drive. They have to get the wheelchair out and move him into the passenger seat. He gets his license taken away again. That's why the girl ends up driving. So unfortunately, this guy just cannot stay out of trouble. And I'm sorry, but that's not really what you want in Congress, no matter what party you're in. Republicans are getting really, really embarrassed by this guy, and this is just the latest. And if he wasn't such a asshat, I might feel sorry for the guy, but he just keeps bringing it on himself. And, you know, all you can just say, bless his little pea picking heart. The Russians have a group called Wagner, named after the composer. And the Ukrainians have a group they call Mozart, named after the composer. This is one of the members, a former United States Marine. He's training Ukrainians. I'm just putting this up there because it says the Russians are worse than ISIS. You know, it used to be, Nazis. Nazis were the baddest that, you know, and then 9/11 happened and it was Nazis and it was all, you know, all Middle Eastern terrorists, ISIS. They were the worst. And now the things this guy has seen, Russia beats them all. And we've shown you some stuff. And I've seen stuff that I haven't shown you, the horrific stuff. This is one of those scenes that you think, you know, this is a movie. This is, you know, they're getting ready to film a movie. No, this is in Shanghai, China, and they're getting ready to deal with their population. These are police officers. These are security officers. They've all got they got PPE all the way down to the boots. So what's going on in China? Really, what's going on in China? And for those of you that applaud, I can fly on a plane and I don't have to wear a mask, or I can ride on a bus and I don't have to wear a mask. Are there any odds at all that somebody that gets on your plane has just flown back from China? And do you really want that person on your plane with no mask? Just something to think about. Just something to think about. A little bit more to think about. These were announced today. These are new discoveries of the Omicron variant. These have just been announced. BB.1.118, BB.292, BB.234, BB.234, BB.2.33. These are all variants that have just recently morphed, mutated, and whatever's going on in China is not what's going on here at the moment. Okay, China, again, we've talked about it the past 2 episodes. They've been reporting deaths. They're no longer reporting infections. Okay, they're no longer reporting positive tests. All they're reporting is deaths, and the death number keeps going up. And I told you on here before, they say only 17 people died in the whole time, all the way back to 2020, all the way back to 2019 when COVID-19 started. There's only been 17 people in China die where this disease originated from. Do you believe that? I don't believe that. They're not telling us the truth. Now they're starting to tell that, you know, because the deaths are so significant that they can't ignore them. They can't avoid them. We talked on an episode the other night what Tesla is doing. Tesla, if you go into the factory, you do not get out. You go in and you sleep on the factory floor. You work for 12 hours. You sleep for 4 hours. You get up and you work for 12 hours. You sleep for 4 hours. You get to eat. You get 1 day off every 6 days. But they're not going to be able to ship these cars out once they get them built. We showed you what the ports are looking like. We showed you what the bays in the area are looking like. something's going on that they are not telling us about. Us, nobody's, okay? And we need to be aware. And I thank you for watching this, and I thank you for all of your inputs. This is just a kind of a montage of what has been going on, what has been going on in and around Jerusalem over the past few days. And none of this is a good look for Israel. And it's beginning to become kind of apparent that the same people that support Russia and support fascism are supporting what Israel is doing. Now, the Jews are God's chosen people, okay? Doesn't mean everybody in Israel has chosen God. Keep that in mind. There's a big difference, all right? And again, devastate the mosque, hurt kids. You know, this is what and keep in mind, this is all going on outside of the third holiest site in all of Islam. So it's just it's not how you think Israel would act, knowing what Jewish people have been through. But at the same time, again, the actions are for Israel. The actions aren't for God necessarily. And Jewish people, those, especially those that believe in God, their actions are for God, not for their state necessarily. If they coincide, they coincide. But you would think that after all they had been through, that they might have some compassion or some humanity, but instead it's not what we see. So thank you for watching. It kind of wraps things up for this night. And again, tomorrow morning, I'm not sure if I'll have it live or not. I'm going back and forth. I'm going to be monitoring it. I'll be watching it. I may do a report or two on it. But I just get this feeling that something's going to happen, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is not actually going to be testifying. I just have that feeling. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, hit the little bell so you'll know when we're back on, if you're on YouTube. And if you're not, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you're on one of the other platforms, thank you all for watching. Leave a comment or a a comment or a like. And I don't always get to, I very rarely get to Facebook and I say leave comments and I hardly ever see them. I apologize for that. I will try to do better. It's just, things just keep coming and coming and coming. And, you know, it takes a lot of time to go through things and find different things. And a lot of stories I dig on that end up being not true. So, you know, we end up not talking about those things. And it seems like as soon as I get done with one episode, something else breaks shortly thereafter. So with all that being said, I greatly appreciate you. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and we will be back very soon. And until next time, again, thank you for watching.